Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. Day 2 of the draft. Today's day 3. There's going to be a lot going on. Twitter poll question is up. Simple question today. Do you like the Eagles draft picks after day 2? At Locker Room 973 is my Twitter handle. Do you like the picks so far? And Scooter, right now, 5% say yes, 76 say no, 19 say maybe. So,
all right, did you expect anything different?
Now, Scooter. What's that?
Did you expect anything different?
Let's get some clarity, because I get the daily news sent to my house, and I really respect and I read my next guest. Let's go to the sports hotline and welcome into the locker room for the Philadelphia Daily News, Paul Domowitch. What's up, Paul?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Paul, I watched your tweets last night. You were one of the first people and one of the only people to say, hey, this pick of Jalen Hurts isn't so bad.
Yeah. I'm obviously in the minority. His selection has caused quite an uproar. But, I mean, of their 3 picks, I might have the least problem with that one. I mean, I think he's an intriguing weapon that they're going to find ways to use. And like I mentioned in some of the tweets, I also think he provides a kick in the ass for Wentz. He's not going to challenge him for the starting job, but he, Wentz needs, he needs better coaching from the people in the quarterback room, and he's going to get that this year. Now that they've kind of moved Press Taylor over to an X's and O's position, and they need somebody that's going to make him look over his shoulder occasionally. I mean, this is a guy
But Dama, you really believe in the NFL today, with all the money they invested in Carson Wentz, that he needs somebody to kind of keep him like honest, I guess, or keep him on his toes? I mean, that could go both ways, can't it?
It can, but if he's not tough enough to deal with a guy behind him, then he doesn't belong in the league. And I don't think that's the case with him. He'll be fine. But last year his mechanics were horrible, and nobody could seem to get through to him, which really concerned me about the coaching he was getting. And that's one of the reasons they shook up that staff. But more so than anything, I mean, the reason I liked the pick, although and people that even agree with it say, well, yeah, but they shouldn't have taken him in the second round, is that he's an intriguing weapon. They can use him. I mean, Harbaugh talked about possibly drafting him and using him with Lamar Jackson. I mean, you can use him as a kick returner. You can use him as a running back. You can use him. You put him on the field in Wildcat with Wentz. There's just so many things in this game today. You got to create matchup problems. And I watched every game this kid played last year. He's got a long way to go as a passer because of the fact that at Alabama he wasn't asked to do a whole lot reading-wise. But what he can do with his legs is going to be an invaluable asset to them, even if it's only for 6, 7, 8 plays a game.
We're talking with Paul Domowitch from the Philadelphia Daily News. You covered the Eagles. Paul, you're down there all the time. You get to see the inner workings, and you're in the locker room, and now you're really in the locker room today. But
no, I won't be in the locker room for a while.
Yeah, right. You talk about the coaching staff. Some of the they shuck up the staff last year. Press Taylor, how do you feel about Press Taylor? I looked at some of it. I read his bio, looked at his credentials. He played junior college football. He was a quarterback. But what do you think about Press Taylor?
I think Press is a smart guy, a smart X's and O's guy, and I think that what they did with him was kind of a demotion by promotion. I mean, he's now the passing game coordinator, and that's a good thing because I mean he's a good X's and O's guy. But what he was in that locker room as a quarterback's coach was basically he was Carson's buddy, and Carson and any quarterback does not need a buddy as his coach.
Right, I agree.
When DeFilippo was the quarterback's coach, he wasn't afraid to put his foot up Carson's butt when it needed to be put up his butt, and tell him he was wrong and tell him what he needed to do. He wasn't getting that from Press last year, and that concerned me. I think he'll get it this year from Rich Scangarello, from Marty Morningweg, the two new additions to the offensive staff that are going to have the most impact on that quarterback room. So I think that's going to be a positive. And I think Press also is in a better role for himself in that as an X's and O's guy, he's going to be able to help Doug with the game plan, with scheming and things like that, which are his strengths.
Yeah, Paul, it's Scotty here. I think you hit it right on the head. I think that Carson's kind of fought this process a little bit, and I think he did get a buddy in there that had his back all the time. And obviously, when he came back from his first major injury, he really was throwing off his back foot. He wasn't leaning into any throws, and I thought last year I saw a better player in some senses, that he started getting his rhythm back and started getting his footwork better. To me, his drop is too short. He's just doesn't seem like he's getting anywhere. So this pick, Jalen Hurts, doesn't bother me that much because, like I said, maybe it does put a little pressure. But do you think that's the Eagles' plan, that they're really going to use him like a Taysom Hill, kind of a role there, and spread him out?
I do. Now the question here is, this is you're adding this kind of guy at a time when there's probably not going to be any spring workouts. We don't know what training camp's going to look like. Hell, we don't even know what the season's going to look like right now. So all these rookies, you've got to wonder. You got to put an asterisk by their selections right now, because you don't know how much of a contribution they're going to be able to make this year, especially a guy like Hurts, who you're going to be putting in a unique role. But under normal circumstances, 2 years from now, I mean, I think he can be Taysom Hill. I think he can. You can make packages for him. The guy they drafted in the first round is basically a gadget player, Jalen Reagor. I mean, he's a vertical threat, but he's also a guy that they envision and that other NFL teams envisioned as a gadget guy that you could use on jet sweeps, on bubble screens, on end arounds, on Wildcat. I mean, that's kind of what the game is becoming right now. Just get the ball in people's hands rather than rather than the high percentage throws downfield. I mean, even last year with Carson, he made very few. I mean, most of his success came on short to intermediate throws. That's what they want to do. They just want the high percentage throws, get it to guys who can create things in space, and take it from there.
We're talking with Paul Domowitch of the Philadelphia Daily News. And Domo, in an article that you wrote on Friday, it was pretty intriguing. You talked about how the later rounds produce more of a cornerstone for your organization than the first couple rounds, and you singled out Jason Kelsey was picked in the 6th round, and Foles was in the 5th. Holly White I never can say his name right. Was in the 3rd, and Brandon Brooks in the 7th. So they got some good things coming up. They got 3 4th round picks, a 5th and a 6th, right? Yeah,
well, I mean, a lot of those guys I mentioned, Billy, like Brooks, I mean, he was drafted by somebody else. My point was that, the rest of this draft is just as important as who you took in the 1st and 2nd rounds. They had, 4 of their 8 picks going into this draft are in a 43 pick span here, starting with the pick they made in the 3rd round last night, Davion Taylor, and 3 more picks in the 4th round early this afternoon. So when half your picks are right there, that's a key area. Now, the problem, as I pointed out in the story, was I went back 10 years, and they've been horrible in that particular area. They haven't had a lot of keepers, so that concerns you. And the pick they made in the 3rd round yesterday kind of concerns me. They took Taylor is one of the fastest linebackers in the draft, but he's so raw. Didn't play high school ball because he was a Seventh-day Adventist, and their Sabbath runs from Friday night to Sunday, and he couldn't play. Didn't play till he got to community college. So he's he's still learning, and that's not a guy. He's a guy that'll help them right away on special teams, but I don't know how quickly he's going to help them
And for a linebacker,
as,
Paul, he's small. He's 6 foot. He only goes about 228. He ran a 4.39. I was a little surprised that my producer Josh, he actually had him on the show I think a couple weeks ago, and he said the Eagles were going ahead. You actually mentioned him in your article, so you had him on your radar.
Yeah, no, I mean the speed factor is why I found him intriguing. The fact that he's still got so much to learn and he's so raw. You know, I've seen them do this before, not so much with Howie, but going way back to guys, you know, some undersized guys, and the undersized part isn't so important anymore. I mean, you're looking for speed, and
Right.
Howie Roseman made that clear last night that they want to be a fast team. So I understand that. I just don't know how quickly this kid's going to contribute, other than on special teams.
Paul, all right, we got a Twitter poll question up at Locker Room 973. Do you think did the Eagles do okay after the first two drafts? Do you like the Eagles picks after the first two? After the second day of the draft, do you like it? Yes, no, or maybe? Where do you stand, Paul?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know what Rieger's going to become. I had Justin Jefferson rated higher. You know, he went right after them to Minnesota. But they were looking for, what Rieger brings to the table and what Jefferson brings to the table are different, and they felt Rieger was what they were looking for. I like, as I mentioned, I like the Hurts pick, and I don't know what quite yet. Haven't made my mind up on the linebacker. I like the speed factor, but I just don't know what you're going to get from him early on, especially in this crazy spring and summer when these guys are probably not going to get much more than book learning.
And Paul, one last question: who do you think has done the best so far in the draft? What team? What general manager do you think has done the best so far?
I haven't had a chance to really look at everybody yet. New England's been an interesting team, the way Belichick's been moving around, or at least his dog's been moving around. I'm not sure which. I'm not sure who's making the picks, but I like Dallas getting all those picking CeeDee Lamb. It's a great addition. I mean, the Eagles would have loved to have him. I just don't know that was their biggest need. I think they were blinded by that, getting another receiver for Dak Prescott. So we'll see how that works out. But ask me after it's over, and I'll have a better idea.
All right, we will do that. Domo, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Love following you in the daily news, and we'll talk to you again.
Take care, guys. Thanks for having me.
See you, Paul.
All right, Scooter, here's Paul Domowitch of the Philadelphia Daily News, and he's a maybe.
Yeah, I think this is, it's going to weigh on people and see how this goes. It's going to be a wait and see.
All right, the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection, professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents and brokers, lenders, home builders and developers, and attorneys to facilitate real estate purchases, construction, refinances. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that will help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information about the Surety Title Company, please call our good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a customer-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations, and invite you to stop in and learn about their entire line of premium luxury vehicles, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan and the class-defining all-new Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, is a national leader in Maserati certified pre-owned sales, named top certified retailer in 2018. The experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the main line, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides new Maserati loaner cars. So add a little bit of flair to your next new vehicle. Contact my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the main line, today at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800. Or visit them online anytime at motml.com. And just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick, But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you feel this is, if you have an interest in attending one of these events and sees a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or call them at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up the first hour. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app.